Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Puna puna saranang gacchami.
During this period of crisis, we need to prepare ourselves to face various challenges. And the biggest challenge that people are facing now is about the fear of death or the fear of losing one's loved ones. And the reality is this, that the process of dying has been going on from day one of our lives. From the time we were born, the cells in our body started to die. However, new cells also develop, and that's what keeping us alive. Our life energy actually depends on this delicate balance between the rate of the replicating cells and the rate of the dying cells. So if we look after this body well, it will carry on functioning for a longer time, but after some time, when this missionary in our body gets worn out and stops functioning, then we die. Death is certain. Life is uncertain. So why are we afraid to die? Because we have collected and accumulated so much stuff, so many things, from the time we were born until now. And we have been taught that this is mine, this is yours. So the idea of I, my, me, mine, this identity developed from very early days. When young, we collect toys, and when they are taken away from us, we cry. When we grow up, we make friends, we fall in love, we marry, we start a family, and when our loved ones fall sick or die, we cry. In order to take care of the family, we work very hard to own a house, an apartment or condo, a car, and so on. Then we buy a lot of things and collect a lot of souvenirs to decorate our houses. Then, one day we need to shift to a smaller house or apartment, and we start to feel very sad because we can't take along all the things which we have cherished. So the list goes on and on. This is what grasping is about. We cling on to wealth, to relationship, fame and power, and so on. All this strengthen that false notion of the self as I, my, me, and mine, without realizing that all these things, including this body of ours, are constantly subject to change. So when we are threatened with losing them, losing all what we have accumulated, we naturally become afraid and fearful. This is how the tendencies of grasping, craving, and attachment leads to suffering. The whole teachings of the Buddha is about how to reduce and to overcome this grasping nature. And it involves our mind. We need to know what goes on in our minds. When we see something nice and beautiful, we usually attach a value or give a label to it, and then we keep on thinking about it as nice, beautiful, again and again. Because we have attached certain value to the things as nice and beautiful, naturally we experience pleasant feeling or sensation. We feel good. Then we want to see those things again. That is how craving arises. The same thing goes on with our other senses. What we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we feel, and is what we think and imagine. Now, take for another example. If you like to eat something, and I ask you to think about it again and again, and as you think about it again and again, you will begin to salivate. This is how you see how desire arises. Desire is a force. It is a force that drives us to get what we want. Once we get what we want, we feel satisfied. We are happy for a moment. This is what sensual pleasure is about. We obtain pleasures through the senses. When we cannot get what we want, then we get upset, we get angry. That's how craving leads to attachment and aversion, and that's how suffering arises. Craving is the cause of suffering. Now, how did the craving and desire arises? It is actually through our own minds, by thinking, rethinking, again and again, again and again. If this craving force is something which we have created in our own minds, surely we can discreate it. How do we discreate it? Now, this is what Buddhist meditation is about. It is about stilling the mind, to make the mind still, calm and still. So when the mind becomes more and more silent, until it reaches a point when the very momentum of silence will eventually break the habit pattern of the mind to create thoughts. And when that happens, a real transformation takes place within ourselves. So when we see things, our mind is silent and quiet. We don't create further thoughts. So in the same way, when we hear something, we hear a sound, we feel, or we taste something, our mind is silent. We don't create further thoughts. So that is how we reduce and eventually overcome the tendencies of grasping. And that's how suffering can be ended. It may take some time, but if you persevere, you put in the right effort, you are persistent and consistent in your practice in order to break the strong habit pattern of the mind, that strong habit pattern of the mind of thinking, rethinking again and again. But if we make a strong determination, then we follow up with our practice, then we will succeed one day. You will succeed one day. All you need to do now is to make an aspiration, a strong wish, that through all the merits, all the good things which you have done, may these merits pave the way for you to make the right connections, to meet authentic teachers, and that you will have the opportunity to further develop and purify your minds. Purify your minds from the tendencies of greed, hatred, and delusion, cultivating the qualities of generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom. This will put you on the right path, the path to your final liberation. So may the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha be with you all, and may your wish come true. May you be an inspiration to all. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang